Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Josh, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Kroger Rewards World Elite Mastercard. So I'll be going over the main features of this card, its pros as well as its drawbacks. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a much better idea of whether or not this credit card is a good fit for you. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of this card, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stock in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then simply link your bank account. You do not even have to make an opening deposit. At that point in time, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. Okay, so diving right into the main features of the Kroger credit card. First off, we are going to be discussing cash back and how much you can earn with this card. So starting out, you can earn up to 5% in cash back on mobile wallet and Kroger Pay transactions. So with this, you are going to be receiving 5% cash back on the first $3,000 in purchases each calendar year, 2% on amounts above that, and Kroger Pay at fuel centers do not earn rewards. Mobile wallet transactions, excluding Kroger Pay, will be earning you 5% cash back on the first $3,000 in purchases each calendar year and 1% above that, regardless where the transaction is made. Then you'll be earning 2% cash back inside Kroger stores, and then on all other transactions, basically all of those transactions outside of Kroger stores, you will be receiving 1% cash back. Now, as far as the spend bonus goes, unfortunately with this credit card, there is not going to be a spend bonus. There is no spend bonus, no welcome bonus, whatever you want to call it. So with other credit cards out there in the market that say, for instance, you might have to spend like $1,000 within the first 3 months or something like that. And in return, if you're able to do that, in return, you will receive a welcome bonus or a spend bonus of like $200. Unfortunately, with this credit card, at least at this point in time, there is no type of welcome or spend bonus. However, with this card, there are going to be some other perks that come with it. So just for an example, you can save an additional 55 cents per gallon of fuel each time you redeem at least 100 fuel points at Kroger fuel centers for the first year. And then on top of that, you can also earn 2x fuel points and $59 towards a free next day delivery boost membership after you apply for the credit card and complete your free boost enrollment. So now that we went over the main features of this card, at this point in time, we are going to go ahead and dive into the APR and fees. And of course, that's also super important as well. So starting out, your APR on purchases is going to range anywhere between 19.24 to 29.99% based on your credit worthiness. Then as far as balance transfers go, starting out with this card, there's not going to be like any type of promotional APR like you might see with other cards out there in the market, where they might give you like a 0% interest rate for, let's say, like the first 12 to 18 months. Instead, your APR on those, just like your purchases, is going to range anywhere between 19.24 to 29.99% based on your credit worthiness. Then as far as cash advances go on this channel, we usually recommend to stay far away from cash advances. This, of course, should not be considered financial advice, just my own personal reasons. Usually with them, you have a very high interest rate, plus you typically have to pay a lot of fees as well. But if you do decide to take out a cash advance with this card, just know that your APR on them is going to be a whopping 29.99%, plus a lot of fees like I just mentioned as well, which we are going to go ahead and dive into right now. So as far as the fees go, starting out with your cash advances, on each cash advance, there is going to be a fee of either $10 or 5% of the amount of each cash advance, whichever happens to be greater. So in the case that you take out a cash advance of, let's say, like $300, in that case, the 5% is going to be greater than the $10. In that case, there's going to be a fee of $15 plus the 29.99% interest rate. So it's going to definitely stack up there the amount of fees and interest that you're going to have to pay on that cash advance. Then as far as balance transfers go, as I just mentioned a moment ago, it's probably not going to make a whole lot of sense to do a balance transfer, at least starting out, because your interest rate with this card is probably not going to be much slower than what you might have with another credit card if you do have another credit card right now where you are paying a lot of interest on a month-to-month basis. So it's probably not going to make a whole lot of sense to transfer a balance from that card over to this card, but maybe later down the line they might offer you like a 0% promotional rate for like 12 to 18 months. And in that case, it might make sense to transfer your balance from one card over to this card just to have that 0% interest rate for that time period. But it's still not going to be completely free though. There are going to be some fees associated with each balance transfer that you carry out with this card. That fee on each balance transfer is either going to be $10 or 4% of the amount of each balance transfer, whichever happens to be greater. Then with this card, there's also going to be some other fees as well. So there's going to be a fee for late or return payments. That fee on those are going to be up to $41. Now, thankfully with this card, if you happen to travel abroad, there are not going to be any foreign transaction fees. So if you do travel outside the United States, this is a card you can definitely bring with you and continue to use. Although I probably would not recommend it because you would only be earning 1% cash back on those transactions. You might want to look for a card that will pay you back anywhere between 1.5% to 2% cash back, but you can definitely take this card with you and you won't be hit with any extra fees. So it's definitely a positive with this card. And then finally with this card, there are no annual fees. So you don't have to sit around and consider whether or not we're renewing this card or whether you keep it or cancel it. It's completely free, so you don't have to sit around and consider whether paying like $95 for it is going to be worth it for you with the benefits that you're getting back in return, because you're not paying anything for it anyway. So now that we went over the main features of this card as well as the APR and fees, at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and dive into what I would consider to be the best things about this credit card and the worst things about this credit card. So we're going to start out with the positives. We're going to start out with the good things. The first good thing, of course, is the fact that you will be earning 5% cash back on the first $3,000 in purchases each calendar year in Kroger, and then after that, that's going to be 2% cash back. So if you spend a lot in Kroger, you can definitely earn a lot of cash back there. Secondly, you can also save an additional 55 cents per gallon of fuel each time you redeem at least 100 fuel points for the first year, so you can definitely save a lot on gas there. Then also with this card, there's not going to be any annual fees, so you don't have to consider whether paying an annual fee for this card is going to be worth it. And then finally, there are no foreign transaction fees, although like I mentioned just a moment ago, if you do happen to travel abroad, this is probably not going to be the best card to use anyways, despite the fact that there are no annual fees, because you will only be earning 1% cash back, whereas there's several other credit cards out there on the market that also do not have any foreign transaction fees, where you can actually earn a lot more than 1% cash back. You can earn at least 1.5% all the way up to 2% cash back across the board on all those transactions. So you probably would want to use another credit card for those purchases. So those are the good things about this credit card. As far as the drawbacks go, first off, with this card, there is no spend bonus, there is no welcome bonus. So it would be great maybe if you could get like $200, even if you had to use them at Kroger or something, if you're able to spend, let's say, like $1,000 within the first 3 months. Unfortunately, there is no welcome bonus. They might have something where they might send you something specifically in the mail where you might be able to get like a welcome bonus, something specifically for you. But right now, if you apply on their website, they're not mentioning anything about a spend or welcome bonus. Also, on top of that, they don't have like any type of introductory APR on purchases or balance transfers. With several other credit cards out there in the market, they are advertising a 0% introductory APR on both purchases and balance transfers for anywhere between 12 to 18 months. Unfortunately, with this credit card, they are not offering anything like that. And then finally, if you use this credit card outside of Kroger, you're only going to be earning a measly 1% cash back. That is definitely on the low end of what you could be receiving with other credit cards. So you're pretty much going to be stuck with using this credit card inside Kroger if you want to get the best bang for your buck in terms of cash back. So if you're going to have this credit card, you're probably going to want to have also another credit card to use outside of Kroger. That way you're not only earning 1% cash back on all those transactions outside of Kroger. So to sum things up, if you shop in Kroger quite a bit, you spend a lot of money there, and you get your gas there, this credit card is probably going to make sense for you just because there are no annual fees. However, if you don't really do a whole lot of shopping there, maybe just, once every couple of weeks, once every 3 or 4 weeks, then in that case, it's probably not going to make the most sense for you. But that's all we have for today's review. I certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.